Hello, this is Diamond Neko, and I'm back with another video. Now, I'm about to do a story time video of working at Little Caesars. Now, before I started working at Little Caesars, I was flat shit broke. So that's what actually motivated me to actually go and apply for that particular place. Plus, it was up the street from my house, so it was okay, cool, fine, and dandy. So I filled out application. Next following day, I get a call. At the time, they had a different manager. I'm not going to say his name, but we're going to call him Gary. Yeah, we're going to call him Gary. So I interviewed with a manager named Gary. Okay, he said I was hired in. Just for them to call and say they're under new management. And that was like the next following day when I called to ask when can I start. And they told me I was under new management. So I had an interview again. So I interviewed with, I'm not gonna say his name. So this manager's name is gonna be Bob. Yeah, his name is Bob. So I interviewed Bob and whatnot. He was just hiring anybody. I don't even think I was qualified for the job. He was just hiring anybody at that point. So I got in whatnot. He said I was hired in. I had to fill out these W-4 form, on Little Caesars little W-4 website and whatnot. So a week passed by, I'm waiting for me to start work. And we had a huge orientation that was extremely out the way. Like it was not even at the store, it was at a different store. Like it was just extremely out the way. And it was winter time, so it was cold. I had to wait until my dad got off for work so I could just go out there. And when I hit the orientation, it was just a wide range of people. Like a lot of them minors. They hired a huge majority of minors because, you don't have to pay minors much. You really don't. I'm sorry, I got a cold. But anywho, so we went back at the store. We did our little orientation video, which was kind of dumb. I really didn't like the video at all. I didn't learn shit from it. I didn't learn nothing. Nothing from it. But it was around the time when they was doing the promotion. The bacon crust deep dish pizza. The artery clogging, fat giving pizza. Something bad for your health, of course. And it was just giving us free deep dishes while we was there, feeding us, making us full, motivating us. I didn't feel motivated, but So after the orientation, I went back up to the store that I got hired to. They gave me my shirts and whatnot. And the only perk that I saw working there was 50 cents Crazy Bird. Once you start working there, you get 50-cent Crazy Bird, which was a plus, in my opinion. So, my first day of working there, I had to walk through the trenches of the cold. I hated it so much. I had to walk through the cold just a mile and a half just to get to work. So, my first day of work was all fine, all nandy dandy. It was great. I really hated it. Because you have to make the pizzas in a certain amount of time. And they have a lot of waste product. Like a lot. So after making so many pizzas, throwing away so many pizzas and selling so many pizzas, I tell you, my hands was dry. I had dry, crusty hands. Very dry, very crusty. And the thing is, we make the pizzas with our bare hands. We don't wear gloves. There's no gloves being worn when making the pizzas. But you have to wash your hands every 5 minutes. So those every 5 minutes we're making the pizzas, our hands are drying out. And we still have to make it with our bare hands. So mind you, skin peeling off the hands. Dry, crusty, touching your pizza dough. Yes, the pizza dough that you guys eat. Just dry, crusty, peely skin hands touching your pizza dough. Now, next following day, I really already hated the job. And between having my hands dry every day, the job was okay for the most part. Just still didn't really like it. The only perk was the Crazy Bird. Because when I go to the job I passed the high school I used to go to. I'll stop at the high school, pick up money from kids. I charge them $1 for Crazy Bread a piece, and go buy the Crazy Bread under my employees' discount, which was 50 cents a piece, and drop it off to the high school. Sometimes I make like a $10 profit off of all that exchanging. Well, one day I was making pizzas, flipping the dough, just to make my weekly allowance of dough that the store gives me. And I found a fly in the dough. Yes, a fly. Now, most times when we make the Crazy Bread, flies will actually like land on the Crazy Bread. We had a lot of flies back there. Like they'll land on it and they'll still bake the Crazy Bread and give it out to you guys after the flies landed on it and stuff. Their excuses, well, the heat kills the bacteria, but like that's not the point. The principle is you don't give people bread that has been touched by flies. But they still baked it. They still served it to you guys. And you guys still ate it. But one day, I just legit found a fly in the pizza dough. Like, it was a dead fly, He was, like, inside the pizza dough. So I asked my manager, what should I do about this? Like, what should I do about this dough? He was like, just pick the fly out. And, like, make it into the shape of pizza and still bake it. The dough was still good. It was just one little fly. So, I picked the fly out because I didn't want to get fired. And made the dough into the shape of a pizza, like, the normal Little Caesar stuff. And there was a couple more flies in there. Before I can stop one of the other managers, he already sauced the pizza, put pepperonis on it, and threw it in the oven. Now, at this point, I don't know which pizza is which, because they all look alike to me. And that day, I did not buy no pizza, because it was just flies in the pizza. Like that dough, that one particular thing of dough had flies in it. And I feel sorry for the customer who went and bought that pizza and ate it. So, next following day I came in. And it was just the usual. Flies swarming around the Crazy Bread. Landing on the Crazy Bread. Crazy Bread being baked and stuff. And the trays are so old. There's like caked up old dough around the little cart trays. Very old and caked up. If a health inspector was to come in, the store will probably gonna shut down because there was rat droppings in the back of the trays. And there was actually rats inside the walk-in where the pizza dough lays. Some of the pizza dough we had to throw out because there's like, little chewy bite marks on the dough. Some of them, if the bite marks doesn't look that bad and it does not look like rat bite marks, they'll still cook the pizza for you guys. Now, I guess the health director did come in because the store closed down the next following week. And it was around, summertime. So I already worked like, a month and a half in for one location. So they had to transfer all of us after, like, the store had to close down for remodeling and whatnot. So they made me work at a store that was way far out of my reach. And I had no choice but to still walk out there. So it was a 3-hour walk from home to work, from work to home. And it was a newer, upgraded store, like one of the newest stores that everybody was raving about. So I went to work there, and everything was very automatic. Like, they have a pizza dough presser, a machine that puts sauce and cheese and pepperonis on the dough. It was a it was a triple oven. Everything was very automatic. Like, you punch in with your thumbprint and all. Now, the Little Caesars I was working at beforehand, you didn't punch in with your thumb pick. But for the 2 weeks I didn't work at the first location, they still paid me the hours that I should have worked. Which is crazy. I got free money. I had free money that week. Like $400 and some that I didn't actually work. I only worked one day throughout the whole 2 weeks. But it's all good. It's all fine and dandy. And, after a week of working at the new location, punching in and out, doing all this extraness that I didn't really need to do. A huge majority of people from location A, the one that had all the fly and rat problems and, all that other stuff. We all got laid off. And they did it without, like, notifying none of us. Just out of nowhere. And when the first location was to open up, we were supposed to get hired back, but none of us got contacted. So that was the end of my Little Caesars debacle. I don't really suggest people buying their food per se, just because of the fact that there was flies in the dough, there was flies touching the dough, rat droppings. Like, you don't really know what goes on behind, the workings of your food. You really don't until you actually work there. And trust me, it is hell working at a Little Caesars. Legit hell. Like, dry, crusty hands with peeling skin touching your food because you wash your hands every like 5 minutes, other than using gloves. It was terrible. And I'm gonna cut this short because I don't want to keep you guys here too long. And that's the end of my story. Working at Little Caesars, the horror of it, just disgusting. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications.